By the way, let me tell you something. When my mom took me to my dad took me to a school, and that's where I found Pastor Wilson Bugembe. Then Pastor Wilson Bugembe, I saw him, he was here when talking on the talk show.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I found Pastor Wilson. Pastor Wilson organized the little boys in senior 1. He was in senior 3 by then. For me, I was in senior 1. And he told me, hey, who wants to join the choir? I was one of them.
Mujevale. My name is Bani Kibuka, and welcome to another episode of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Welcome once again to the Ugandan Boy Talk Show with your boy Bani Kibuka, and I'm so excited that we're starting off our second year. We started off with one episode that I just released a few weeks ago, and then I took off a week because I've been moving to a new location. That's why you see the looks are different because I'm in a new location. But today I'm happy to host one of the gentlemen I grew up seeing in Uganda. He's a man of God. He's a musician. He's a servant of God. And he's doing a lot of things on people's lives in Uganda. And I was so honored to host him on my podcast. So, Mugabi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing very, very fine. I'm so happy that I'm having you on my podcast. I remember the days when I was still in Uganda, in Wakiso, and you would come there to
Yes.
sing, and your music inspired. I'm going to ask you a lot about it. So, how is life? How are you doing?
I'm good. I thank God that I'm alive. People are dying, and good that God has saved my life. And I believe God for a better future.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really blessed to have you also to host me here, because I've been watching all your programs. I was like, when is he calling me also? And I also be in the broadcast.
Yeah, that is
so
nice.
I'm so grateful to her. I'm so grateful that you also considered me, you remembered me, and say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, my brother, you're now next to the Ugandan boy talk show.
Yeah, and that's why I started it. I started it to just empower other people and to bring people like you who are doing a lot of good things in people's lives and to share stories so that people who can't travel to Uganda can learn about Mr. Mugabi, who is back in Uganda doing a lot of things for people's lives. And I want these people to hear these stories. So who is Mugabi? Tell us a little bit about your background.
A little bit of my background. I'm a ghetto boy. I was born in the ghettos of Chibuli, in Zambia, those areas of Machinde.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew my dad. I never knew my dad till I grew up. I grew up with my mom. Even my mom is one who named me the name Mugabi.
Okay.
So when I grew up, I didn't know my dad, but later my mom showed him to me. Abachala balina engeri gye bakwekamu bataata bakyankalanye. So so but later she showed my dad, and then
how old were you?
I get to know him.
How old were you when you
By
first
then
saw your dad?
I think I was 15. 15? 15? Okay. No, 14.
Okay.
14 years, because I had just finished my P7 year. P7, that was year 1999.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit a grown-up person.
Yeah.
Because
So
Mugabi. From there, I started growing like in a life of struggling. Ghetto people, the life is not always good, but But by the grace of God, right now I'm there. I believe God that I'm still alive, and I thank God. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. And I was gonna share just a little bit. I think the first time I met you, I think I met you at Kajumba's place, Kajumba Fred, back in Salah, when I found you and you were singing. I really liked you. I liked you're a very fun person. Like I likes people and likes to hang out with people, and especially when you get into soccer, football. Talking about Liverpool, I'll get into that later. But yeah, I met you in there. So in the beginning, you mentioned like people are dying in Uganda, a lot of people. And the other day, I saw like there's a lot of COVID. How did this COVID treat you as a person, and later on as a country?
COVID actually did something that the world, we all didn't know that this thing is going to happen. And as a musician, I passed through a hard time whereby I was used to go sing in churches and I get some little money and go do concerts and get some little money, because that's how we musicians make our money. But we found out that everything was closed. They never wanted gatherings, and everything was locked, and we suffered a lot. And we never knew. But the good thing, if you had not planned before, I had saved some little money. That little money it's the money that saved me all that time.
Yeah.
Because I had to rent, I had to eat. But thank God, I removed all my money in the bank and I had to buy food so that I survived.
Yeah. How did that affect the ministry?
That's how I survived, God.
How did that affect?
Yeah, it affected the ministry. It affected the ministry, the music ministry in particular.
Okay.
And even in my other ministries that I do, I have a charity organization. People could not even give it, because for me, I don't have like Americans or whites, so I don't have them. I use my Ugandan people. The whites that give me, they always give me like $10, $20. That those who see my posts on Facebook, they give you 10, 20, and but Ugandan family has been standing with me. So the Ugandan family was locked, and I found out that things were too hard. It was so hard, and we like people were even starving. My ministry, the Care For Jajja Ministry, and the music ministry, everything went down, and we are so affected. COVID was a demon.
I could imagine.
COVID was a demon.
I could imagine.
Actually, it is a demon.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends
still there.
I have a lot of friends back in Uganda who have been affected with this COVID. My family is back in Uganda, and you hear stories of people what they're going through in COVID. So we've talked a little bit about your music industry, your music career. How did you start your music career?
Oh, my music career, long story, but let me cut it short. I was not, let me say I was not that musician. Maybe I didn't know that I had the talent. By the way, I didn't know that till I reached my senior one. By the way, let me tell you something. When my mom took me to my dad took me to a school, and that's where I found Pastor Wilson Bugembe. Then Pastor Wilson Bugembe, I saw him, he was here when talking on the talk show. That's where I found Pastor Wilson. Pastor Wilson organized the little boys in senior one. He was in senior 3 by then. For me, I was in senior 1. And he told me, hey, who wants to join the choir? I was one of them. And he started a band called Untitled Band. And there, I joined him. I joined the band. And that's how I started singing.
So that's a great music journey that yeah you were able to meet those people. Yeah, and now to see that you're still in the same relationship with Pastor Wilson Bugembe, and how has he been a good impact in your life ever since you met him?
Yes, in 2005, when things went back to normal, because all things went wrong, like were kind of not good in those first years when I left the school, and then I went to many schools of suffering and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2005, I came back and I met him again. And then he told me, hey, can you sing again? Yes, now, okay. Now let's go and we do a song in studio. And if you remember that song called Naye Bintu bya Mukama bino nabyo bibuza.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I
Yeah,
remember
I
that.
did. Yeah, I went to my first studio, going to recording studio with him when he was doing that album.
Yeah, I remember that's one of my favorite songs, like one of those old songs that Pastor Wilson used to record. And yeah, that was so you mean you were in that song too?
Yeah, I was in it.
Okay.
And I used to sing those hymns, those harmonies. Abatamumanyi bambi balumiza dda mutwe. Yeah. Those small hymns that were in that song. It was
Yeah.
me always doing.
Nice. How is your relationship with him now?
Right now we are still working together.
Okay.
Much now the music changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the music changed. He always wants to raise up more talents.
Okay.
So I'm now not working with him in music.
Mm-hmm.
But if he needs me, I go.
Yeah.
Where he needs me, I go. But even I'm always also busy with my ministry. I'm not always available in rehearsals and practices. So ever busy with my ministry. But
Okay.
I now sing my own music. Yeah, I have my own music. It is on YouTube. I've recorded even a new one. It's very nice praise song. Very nice praise song. Yeah.
So yeah, I remember one time I was in Uganda when you were recording the video of one of your songs. We were in Kavumba, those areas of Salah. I was there during the
There.
video recording of that song. I think actually I might be in one of the videos of that song too. Like I was in there because I remember that day very well. I was there in Uganda when we're doing a music video of your song.
Yeah. That happy birthday. Yeah.
Happy birthday. Yeah, that's so. Anyway, so you mentioned about doing your own ministry now. And I've been on social media. I see the work you're doing, and that's the main reason why I decided to bring you on this podcast to see these things you're doing for the JAJJA Ministry. How did you start JAJJA Ministry, and what pushed you to start it?
Okay, JAJJA, most Americans don't know it, I think. JAJJA means the elderly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the elderly. And here in Uganda, the elderly are the most forgotten people. And most of them, when they always like the kids, the youths, and the ladies, and you find out that the judges, they don't like them. They're like, they say that they're already going to die, so there is no profit we are going to get from them. So it's like they don't need them. But in my heart, I say these people, in the times when they were alive, they blessed us.
Mm-hmm.
They did everything for us. They were the ones who were there to help us. But right now, if they are old and we forget them, it's very bad. I went back to the villages where most of them are thrown, because when they're always in the village, they are thrown there. They have no help. They die miserably. So in my heart, I decided to go back to the villages and visit them. Yeah. I don't have much to give, but I think even if I give sugar, even if I give salt or any cloth, I take that as a blessing.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I tell most people in America, that when we were growing up, some people in Uganda can hardly even afford to have soap, to have salt in their own house, and that's something like big to somebody if they can just have a bar of soap, if they can just have like sugar to drink in their tea, and that's the
Yeah.
thing that reminds me of that. And do you have your grandparents still alive?
Some of them died
Okay.
and others are still alive.
Okay. Because I was thinking
So
about that, like it might, like to me, I lost all my grandparents but one. I only have one that's alive, but that's something that touched me, that somebody like you go out here to help these old people, which also I found out when I came to America that they have like nursing homes in the US where elder people can go and people take care of those people, which we don't have that in Uganda. So if somebody like
yes.
you doesn't come up to help these grandparents, nobody's gonna help them. Like even their families will forget about them.
Yeah, actually it's always in my heart. Like in maybe in the future time to come, I'm thinking of also building a home for the elderly.
Mhm.
Right now, I don't have the money. I'm on the level of giving soap, sugar, clothes.
Yeah.
That's what that's what I can now. But in the future time, I'm thinking of having a home for the elderly,
Yeah.
because you know, if I take you there, maybe when you come back to Uganda one time, I'll take you to some of the places whereby these elderly sleep in a house which is going to fall in some few days or minutes to come. But they sleep there. They sleep with snakes. You know those grass-thatched houses?
Yeah.
Yeah, some snakes go in and they sleep with them. They sleep in a house where it has no door. Huh?
I was gonna ask you, can you just share with us like one of the stories of a certain family and an individual, that what they were going through? Can you just share some experience with a certain family that you can remember?
Okay, there is a family of a man right now is there. He lost his wife, but by then I met them when the wife was there. This man was staying in the bush. He was staying in the bush with his wife. And when I met there, the people told me, we are very poor in this village, but that man is very poor. You know, the poor are telling you that you are poor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when they took me there, I felt so touched. And I was like, I feel like I need to build this family a house. And this lady was sick of the elephantiasis. His wife had
Yeah.
elephantiasis. I took her to the hospital in White. It was Chiboga by then. It's a village in Chiboga, Chankwanzi, those things. The better hospital was Hoima. So I took them to Hoima. They nursed the wound, and then the lady came back when she was fine. But it is so sad, after taking that lady to hospital, getting healed and everything, going back to their small house, it rained a lot. It rained a lot, and the house fell on her when she was inside, and she died in the house. The husband was not there. Right now, the house fell. The husband is sleeping where he finds, because he has no money to buy to build his house.
Yeah.
It is a family right now. That man always touches me. I feel like if I get a good money, I would love to build him a house. I think if he dies when he has slept in a better house,
Yeah.
that's really touching me. He lost his wife. Huh? His wife she died when she was not even sick. She died because the house fell on her. So I
Yeah.
think
Do you know how much like it can cost to buy to build like a small house, not like a big fancy house, but something where can give shelter?
a small house, it can be built. It could cost 3 million Ugandan shillings.
Okay.
I don't know how much is that in
I think
American dollar.
that'll be roughly like, yeah, like 1,000. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
1,000.
1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think that one, I could build him a better house.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
with
right.
that, and then he dies when he has slept in at least, and he's gonna die. But I felt like I need to help this man.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a yeah. Let's hope that somebody listening here can get touched by that story, and that's the reason why I like to share stories like this to bring opportunities for people who are not in Uganda, but to bring you here to talk about these things that people can hear and then
yeah.
help. So I also saw that you went to Karamoja. I've never been to Karamoja. I've seen your pictures on Facebook. You're a happy man. Can you share with us that experience up there and how it was like?
Okay, let me tell you the story in Karamoja. Whatever you started, in Uganda, we started something called the African Traditional Society. Whereby you'd say in African Traditional Society, people used to do this and this. Like the back these things were like this and this. If you go in Karamoja, it is the thing that is there. Like the people are like, I think 100 years back. They are
Yeah.
not, they are still backward. So these people, they have kids that can be taught. However much they still have their wrangle with tribes and everything, they really need help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what took me there was to see how those people are. They still live in grass houses. They still live in the bush. Some of them still sleep in trees. What they know is all about taking blood from animals and putting on what is it? Skins for animals from animals. Like that's what they are. The actually let me say some of them even move half naked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I mean this is a stereotype and a joke that people used to say when I was at school, like we'll never wait for the Kalamajongs to develop or something like that. I mean, that's an abuse which I don't really like to use, but explaining that I can really relate that that's the kind of life that's going on there. But
they're still not developed.
I also saw on your Facebook that you're planning something on December 14th. Can you share with our listeners what you're planning to do December 14th?
December 14th, we are doing a Christmas party for the elderly. And by the way, what I didn't tell you was the elderly in the village, when people give birth here in Kampala or in the towns, they take the kids to the judges there. So you find out that like a judge is having like 7 kids with him or her. So when we go to the village, we don't only feed the judges only, but we feed even those children that are always with them. So we are doing a Christmas party for the community.
Nice.
We're doing a Christmas party for a community whereby they can come and have a soda and have some good food. And we also take some things to give, like maybe because we always go before Christmas.
Yeah.
And what we give them what they will use on that real same day.
Right. And that's something else that I share with the people in America, that when we're growing up, some of us, I mean, we're lucky enough to have meat on Christmas. In America, people can eat meat any day they want, anytime they want. But for us, it was the only time in Christmas. But there are also other kids that never get that opportunity to eat meat on even Christmas. So seeing that, and I've seen some pictures which we're gonna put in this video for people to see when these kids are having like a meal and something that will look like what you're planning to do. And also like you're talking about like doing something for them for Christmas, like gifts. Like when we were growing up, we didn't know like Christmas, anybody gets a gift. And I'm sure a lot of people in Uganda till today, some kids don't get gifts for Christmas, which that's a tradition. That's a tradition in the US where kids expect to receive gifts for Christmas. So I think that would be a good thing for the kids to have the taste of. I know Christmas is about remembering the birth of Jesus Christ, but also like to bring joy in these kids' lives, So yeah, I've talked about a lot about your social media. Most people might not know what your social media handles are. Do you want to share about your personal social media and your
Oh,
ministry social media so people can add you or join or see what you do?
my social media, my name's David Mugabi David.
Mhm.
They can write in Mugabi David, and others could go Care For Jajja. We have a page called Care For Jajja Foundation. That's a page, Care For Jajja Foundation. Then my YouTube is Dave Mugabi.
Okay.
It's yeah, in there. No, actually, my YouTube is Mugabi David again,
Mhm.
and my Instagram is also Mugabi David
Okay.
Mugabi one. Yeah.
Nice. So we've talked about singing. We've talked about music. We've talked about helping the judges. What other ways do you? Is there any other ways do you serve? Like you serve God besides those two?
Yeah, I do some counselings in
Okay.
some new organizations that are starting,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there are not many. Maybe in also I also train choirs in some
Okay.
churches. I go and train some choirs, but not as much.
How about preaching?
Yeah. I also do preaching, by the
Yeah.
way.
That's why I asked you the question because I saw some pictures of you on the pulpit and go, oh, where is it, Chigambo?
Yeah, I do preaching. I do preach. I do preach to, most especially, I always preach to the communities that I've visited to. I went to Karamoja, by the way, and I preached the gospel. You know, the
Yeah.
Karamojas are the Karamojongs are the toughest people in Uganda.
Mhm.
Very dangerous people. But when I reached, I preached the gospel, and they were all happy. They hugged me.
Yeah.
They told me, many people always come here and they show off, right? But when you came here, you preached life to us. You know, I was encouraged.
Yeah, that's good. That's good when people express their love to you and appreciate and being humble. Like you didn't go there to brag off to them, but you wanted to relate to them and be on the same level with them. Um,
Yeah.
the other question I was going to ask you, so how can people support? How can people send you their support if somebody wants to send you support?
Most of them use Western Union,
Okay.
and the others use. We have a PayPal account. I don't know if you know.
Yeah,
You
I've
have
seen.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a PayPal account. I cannot say it, but it can be there. If you follow us, you'll see. If you all follow our social media platforms, you'll see the PayPal account is there. Most people use PayPal, and others use SendWave.
Yeah, I've used SendWave before to send money to my family.
Yeah, others use SendWave. So
Yeah.
that's how we receive any donations from people.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
we also use the post office number. I use my church's post office number. Like if most of them are going to give, maybe they're sending what, clothes or anything, a gift by post. Where it is PO Box 16559 Wandegea, Kampala, Uganda.
Okay. Nice. What's the name of your church?
It's called Worship House.
Worship House. Okay. The one of Pastor Mugambi.
Yeah, so I'm not leaving that guy. I'm with him still.
That is nice. Yeah, you
I'm
never want to leave. He's a nice guy, and when I hosted him on my podcast too, like you could tell like how much he cares about the community, he cares about the people. So yeah, he's a good guy to stick around to.
Yeah.
So now this is the time where I wanted to talk about Liverpool. Liverpool. So what do you think of Liverpool this season?
Yeah, we are taking over. We are taking over. Good. Did something good for us by drawing with Chelsea. So we are 2 points. The win is 2 points above us, so we can be beaten, and then we take over. So Liverpool, I started supporting Liverpool in 2000.
Okay, 2000. Yeah.
18 or 20 years I've been supporting Liverpool.
I started in 2004 was supporting Arsenal. So what do you think of Arsenal?
Arsenal, it is now rebuilding back.
Okay.
It has to work a lot to come to us where we are.
Such a good. But animal, but Brian Dumba Morgan Arsenal said yo. I usually see you tagging us on Facebook. Every time something happens, Arsenal, you tag me, Brian, and then some other friends of yours that you have. But I decided to ask you that because I know you're a very big football fan, and I am too. So I wanted us to share a moment of that just a little bit. But anyway, yeah, and that's something I tell people. Like kids grow up loving football and doing football in Uganda, so that's one area that if somebody has to donate like soccer balls, they can send to you and the kids.
Actually, most of them in the villages, if they can donate soccer balls to us, and some kids like what jerseys, and shoes. We have great talents in the villages there. I send you one of the pictures. I'll send you one of the pictures of the kids playing football and the team we have in the village.
Yeah,
mixed with boys and girls, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, we're coming almost close to this podcast recording, but I have a few questions that I want to ask you about yourself. And so what kind of advice would you send to the young boys and girls in Uganda? I mean, not even young, but like the youth who are like, you chose your life to help somebody else, but what kind of advice do you give to the kids that don't know what to do with their lives?
I just want to give them a scripture. Christ said, when the disciples asked him a question, what are the greatest commandments? Then the greatest commandment is love your God with all your heart and with all your soul. And then another one was love your neighbor as you love yourself. Let me tell you, if you fulfill that commandment, everything will be so good for you. The reason why we are doing this, it's because we love our neighbors. If you don't love your neighbor, I don't think there is somewhere you're going.
Yeah.
We are doing this. I always tell them, please, at least try to help at least one person. One person like this.
Yeah.
Because the person you're helping, you never know, he might change the world. Actually, Pastor Kajumba is one of the people that I started the ministry with him. I felt like I need to talk about him because when we are starting this Care For Jajja ministry, he took me to one of his villages, and that's where I started this ministry. But Pastor Kajumba has been there telling me, he has taught me all this, that you need to love others. If you don't love others, then I don't know where you're going, because he has always a slogan that we are world changers. So if you are a world changer, how will you change the world? By showing love to many people and bringing them to Christ, because that's what Christ wants.
Yeah, that's a very good thing that you mentioned him. Pastor Kajumba has been, he's a brother to me. I would say that, like, he took me to school when I was in primary. He did a lot of things to me, and to watch what he's still doing even today, like helping a lot of kids' lives, like in his village, Salah, that he has transformed. And that's the kind of heart that we want everybody to have. So thanks for bringing that up. And hopefully we'll get to have him soon on this podcast one time. I've tried to get him, but I have not yet got him, but we'll get him. What has been your life lesson?
My life lesson, I'm still learning people. People are very hard to understand.
It's true.
I'm still in school.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think you'll ever understand people. People are always like that.
I don't know if I'll understand them, but I'm still in school of learning people. For example, if you could be helping someone and someone comes up, you are getting a lot of money to feed us. Can you imagine?
All right. That's interesting. Mugabi, Who would you like to be hosted on this podcast next? Who is somebody like you can help us find to be here on the podcast?
Freddy Kajumba.
Are you? I've requested him to come here a few times, but he has not. Are you taking the responsibility to encourage him to come on this podcast?
I am going to encourage him.
Okay.
I'm going to him, and when I see him, when I meet him, I'm going to tell him, man, you have missed something. Please, and join the Ugandan boy.
That is nice. So yeah, we hopefully we'll have to Kajumba on the podcast here. My last question is, what gets you excited about life?
Let me say, when I see those judges smile.
Okay.
Yeah, when I see those people smiling, the judges smiling. When I go and minister in the church and I sing a song and people celebrate my song, I'm like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
So what I that's why it's a prayer to me, God to raise more in my music and to make a smile to each and every elderly that I meet and the kids.
Yeah. So I want to appreciate you for being here and being able to make this happen. We've tried to get this recording for a long time, but finally we got it.
Yes. I was also much excited you to think about me, because I was like, hey, when will he call me? Because I'm also a Ugandan boy. Yeah? I'm so much happy for this time, and may God bless you so much.
Hey there, I am Bani Kibuka, the host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Thanks for watching my video, and don't forget to hit subscribe and share with a friend. Tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for a new episode of my podcast. And for more information about this podcast, follow me on my Instagram page, talk_show_256.